asking me to ease up after call me a fisherman. But this jamming won't stop. I have the control wheel in my hand, like Christopher Columbus and his criminal crew. We sailing in rough waters, so just do what I man tell you. Take all them bananas, dump them in the sea. Sugarcane ain't no horrors. I done kill that already. My aim is to conquer, and I man ain't turning back. If we have to pass through disaster, look, I still ain't teasing no slack. If cost of living reach the sky and unemployment high, bear your grind, bear your grind. But just remember Captain Blight provided a bite. Vincent Chan, bear your grind. Ping, ping, mommy, oi.
Here with me is 3 times National Calypso Monarch of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's such a pleasure to meet up with legends like these. And this person is no other person than the man Ibu himself. Hi Ibu, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
What a pleasure to meet somebody like you.
I'm telling you.
I mean, here in Canada. And I'm really happy that I'm getting this opportunity to have a little chit chat with you. And it's concerning calypso, because I know you have been around in the business for a very long time. So you can tell me about your experience in winning the crown 3 times in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Yes, it's such a pleasant surprise seeing you too after so many years, you know, and having you right here in my living room, you know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure, and thanks for your visit.
You're welcome.
And as you mentioned about Calypso competition, I've been South Leeward Primary School Calypso King in 1976.
So that's the first crown you've ever won?
First crown I won with a song called Art of Class, written by an uncle of mine, Melville Jack. And then that was like the primer. I moved into Kingstown with the graduates, undergraduates Calypso 10 started by Randy D back in 1994. I did a song called The Letter from Saudi Arabia, and that was my first semi-final competition. From then, 84, I did a song called King Song Mashdown, a soca up-tempo rhythm, and then everyone was like, you know, you're good in Calypso. It was like a testing thing for me in the national competition. I was the first Calypsonian in the undergraduate to make it to the semifinals. And the only Calypsonian that year, in 1984, with King Song Mashdown. And that's when Randy D decided that the tent has now graduated. Ibu graduated the tent, so he named the tent Graduates Calypso Tent.
Right. If I could recall, you were also a president of the tent? Or?
Later in the 80s, I was one of the former president of the Calypso Association back then. And after me was Lexi. Lexi took over after, I think it was around 86, 87. Lexi took over from me.
Was it after Lexi we had Josiah? Or Josiah
Yes.
was right after Lexi
Yes.
was Josiah?
Was me, Lexi, Josiah, then Sully. So in them time was Kaiso.
Yeah, big up to all the
You know,
Calypsonians at the
because
same time.
we used to work within the interest of Kaiso. And as Calypsonian, we need to take up our own responsibilities and run the show as our entity. You know what I'm saying? We need to have Calypsonians as the leader of the association of Calypso. We need to, like in Trinidad, you know, you don't have politicians as leader of Calypso tent. You don't have like politician as leader of the Calypso Association. This should be done by Calypsonians, because we know, maybe that's one of the reasons why Calypso don't really make no money, you know, because if a Calypsonian want to make money, you have to have a calypsonian there negotiating for calypsos.
Representing.
You know what I'm saying? We need our own representative in there to take the art form to the board.
What was it like winning that first crown after singing from, as you said, way back in school?
I tell you, to me, it was like I said, it was like me testing myself, being in calypso among some big guns back in the days.
Who were some of those
Man like
persons?
Bumpy, Lexi, Sule, and these are just men from graduates, IPA, you know, we were all member of the undergraduates calypso time. Then 88, I won the Independence Calypso Monarch
After the man skates.
after Skates.
Right,
yeah.
in 1979. Okay.
Came back and won National Monarch with B.I. O'Brien. I've been into several competitions. That same 93, I won South Leeward Calypso Crown also. We had a regional competition in South Leeward. I won that also. So all in all was like 3 national monarch, 2 regional.
What was the arrangement like back in those days? And who are some of the persons who would have arranged the music for you guys back then?
Back then, I had PT, Alson PT Peters, the late PT. He used to be my arranger. Most of my songs was arranged by PT. I also had Samson. Samson arranged for me a couple of times. And I think Jock Benner did a song for me one time, if I could remember. But PT was most instrumental in my arrangements.
You were good arrangers.
Yeah.
Concerning winning your crowns, right? Can you tell me what was the build-up all about back then in those days?
It was just like we doing this thing for fun, you know. Not knowing that we were paving the way for the guys like them guys today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For us, it was just a fun thing. You know, we were having fun. Back in the days, it was a lot of fun, believe me. The camaraderie with other Calypsonians, you know, the interaction with other Calypsonians and things. It was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of opportunity traveling. Like, I performed in the King of the World competition in Barbados, Calypso King of the World in Barbados in 88, after I won. I do over Kingston Mashdown to Bridgetown Mashdown. It was, you know, well received there.
Okay. What is one of your most memorable calypso as a calypsonian?
Most memorable calypso. For King Calypso. I remember when I did that song back then, I think it was 1985. It caused a controversy because the song was banned from the airwaves. You know, they even wanted to kick me out the competition, but I got as far as semi-final, and they said the song was obscene, but it wasn't. You know, Calypso was meant to be effective.
Right.
And it was a double entendre song, you know, for King Calypso. If you put that into a straight sentence, it ain't sung too well, you know what I mean?
Okay. How did you come up with such a with the title of that song? You know, the idea about singing for King Calypso.
I was very mad with the judges from the previous year after they leave me out the competition.
After being one of the favorites. Okay.
I wasn't in the final. I wasn't even in the semi-final. At 84, I was there with King Song Mashdown, and a lot of people thought that I should have been in the final despite it was a up-tempo song. So 85, 84 when they leave me out, 85, you know, I came up with this song that the judges don't know what they're doing.
What was the tent response in the tent
Oh man.
back then with that song?
That was something else. You know, back in them days, we used to attend in Lyric Cinema.
Lyric Cinema, yes.
And Randy D, he was the man behind the tent them time. And Randy D thought it was the best thing to put me to sing last, but I wanted to sing first. So I refused to sing the night. I didn't perform in Lyric the night, and I left. I come now, I sit down on Traders by the railing there. So when the tent over and the crowd came down from there, the people meet me there. And Randy was in the crowd, so Randy said, what happened? I say, why you put me to sing last? Randy say, man, you make me remember Drew. I want you to give the crowd thunder.
Hey.
But I didn't see it that way, but he was right. He was right.
Right.
I must admit he was right. Because the next night, he put me last and I went there and, oh my God. Robbie, who was the owner for Lyric Cinema,
Right.
he told Lexi them, he said, I'm not going to give you guys my cinema to have calypso. Lexi said, why? He said, when that guy Ibu sing, nobody sitting down, everybody jumping on my seat, mashing up my place.
I can imagine the response back then with guys like Snuffy and all of them.
Well,
you know?
Snuffy and his brother.
The grudges now, they're now the grudges.
Yeah. Them guys was, they are the guys who actually made me a king in singing.
Right, with a great support.
His brother, you know, and the crew that used to perform for me and thing when I sing.
Yeah, Martin.
There was a Martin,
his brother, yeah.
There was a guy, Gams.
Okay.
I remember in 87 when I win the Kaiso Monarch, the second song I did, because we used to do first and second song. The second song I did was Do Where You Like. And I remember this Rasta man, I only remember his name as Gams. He was from somewhere up the street. He wasn't even part of the act. But this guy, when the music took him, he walked on stage, pulled his tam from his dreadlocks and he flashy dread on his stage. Them guys give me the crown.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
Terry Gas, a cousin of mine, he used to be with Dragon's Mask. He used to do my props and things for me.
And back then, were you ever getting any problems to get people on stage to perform with you?
Is Ibu?
Once they hear the name Ibu, everybody was ready to perform.
They're ready. They're ready. Sometimes I had to actually say, you know what, people are ready. Because there were so many people want to be on board, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was good.
Just for the memory of those persons who might not have heard about you or even remember your popular song, you mind singing a verse?
Great song, a song that I always look back at was The Spirit of the 90s. I did this in 1990. I am not Francis Bacon nor Thomas Aquinas, Nostradamus, Messias nor Confucius. But with all this new happening, I could predict 10 years of blessing. The world will no longer have enemies. This is now the fulfillment of prophecies. When they break down the Berlin Wall, clearly we see Babylon fall. But when they free Nelson Mandela, a different spirit took over. The spirit of the 90s, bringing progress, spirit of the 90s. Love and happiness, yes, it's love for all mankind on earth. The spirit of the 90s is cosmopolitan, spirit of the 90s, justice and freedom. Africa will be free. That's the spirit of the 90s.
Wow, Kaiso. What do you think about the young people singing, calypso these days? Or even, the other genres?
The whole thing gone jam and wine now, as we used to say back in the time with the soca music, it's jam and wine.
Yeah.
I listen, for the past 3 years, I've been in St. Vincent for Carnival. And what I do notice is that on the calypso section of the art form, the actual commentary part of calypso, the art form is dying. It's dying. I don't know if the artists them afraid to release lyrics or if they run out of lyrics. The soca people them taking over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The actual essence of calypso, like doing a song like a double entendre calypso, a metaphor. You don't hear that much these days. People more repeating themselves in melody, lyrically. You know, the creativeness ain't there no more.
And the message is so different comparing to back then in your days.
That's one of the reasons why I'm planning to make a return in the art form.
We welcome you. We welcome you. Come on. I mean, because I'm telling you, people would go to Victoria Park to hear the man Igbo. They were always excited to hear what you're coming with when you're coming out, you know, with your music. Now you know that they're only performing one song. It's only one song now. And I don't know how you feel about that one song business in the calypso business.
That's one of the things that is killing the art form also. You know, it comes right back to, it just compound a song I did in 94 when I defended my crown. All them calypsonians have a one-shot gun. They make the thing a one-shot thing now. So there ain't no creativeness in the art form.
Well, just from my own experience, right? I do believe there's some people who agree, you know, they like the idea about having a one song, and there are persons out there who actually pay their money to come in and listen to calypsonians who are not agreeing with it. But I think it also has to do, I mean, on behalf of the calypsonians, things have changed. Things are not the same. Everything is expense. Some calypsonians put out a lot of work out there and they're not getting back anything. You know, so when it comes to the music, they have to pay so much money for music and not reaching the big stage, because you know everybody wants to get to the big stage. So maybe I'm just saying that might have been a reason for them accepting the fact that let's sing a one song. It comes with, you know.
Let me just draw a reference here.
Okay.
If you spend your money to buy drugs, what are you gonna get from it? Get high.
High, exactly.
And after that, that's it, right?
Yeah.
If you spend your money to buy clothes, what happens? You're gonna be wearing that clothes for some time. You catch up? I don't know if you follow where I'm coming from.
I'm trying, go ahead.
Some calypsonian, they just want to be in a thing. So they spend the money to make a song. You understand what I'm saying? Like a jam and wine thing. And expecting to make money from it. Back in the days, we used to spend money too. But whether or not we win or we make money, that wasn't the issue. It's all about the art form, developing the art form. But if you go there with an expectation, like I say, if you go there to buy drugs, you will get high. That's it.
That's right.
You understand? If you go to buy a Nike shoe, you're going to expect a good wear from it for a while. You understand? It's just it's the expectation. And that's where some people getting pulled away from. Because when they spend the money, like you say, they make no money and they get
turned off. They get turned off. But there's a lot of persons who are actually not getting anything from calypso and have just been making their contribution year after year after year because of the love of calypso.
Look, some of the best calypsonians I know from even back in my time, they never win crown. But they've been singing for years.
For years. And there are a lot of calypsonians like that.
And I could call
there are a lot of calypsonians like that.
Summers. And these guys are the guys who actually brought the art form to this level. They never win a crown.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? If your expectation is to make money, go look at drop. Because calypso is not a money-making business. Huh?
Life have changed and people's attitude have changed. So maybe then it wasn't like that. But with the cost of living and all that persons have to go through, I mean, I myself don't even think it's fair that people should go up, put themselves through whatever the difficulty is to go and sing a calypso without not getting back something in return. Because as I said, some of these people have been making their contribution for so many years, and sometimes it looks like if it's the same people keep benefiting from it all the time.
The same people benefiting from it all the time is because they are the productive one in the art form. Now, you, for example, me, when I started calypso, I pick a mentor. I had two of them. One of my mentors was Mystic Prowler from Trinidad, who was from Kittels actually. He was from right in Kittels, Chauncey, my area. I grew up around him. The next one was the Mighty Chocolate. I even mentioned that in one of my songs, like Ruben said earlier, Ibu Ain't Afraid. You pick a mentor and you walk in that style.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not in your own style, because calypso doesn't belong to us. It's something we come to adapt. It's an ancient art form that been here before us.
Exactly.
So if we come here to feel we're gonna change things, no, we ain't changing nothing. And the change we're gonna make sometimes is to the detriment of the art form. We killing the thing. And we should keep calypso into being calypso, not just a money making. It's not a money making institution.
For the sake of the culture,
Yeah,
keeping the culture alive.
it's not a money making institution.
Yeah.
Culture was never a money making institution. It was just about developing the art form.
Well, in saying that, I want to say thank you so much for the great contribution that you have been making, or you had already made to the art form in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And still making.
And still making.
Because I produce in calypso.
So
I write still for calypso.
You always have,
Next year
some very positive and with excellent message out there.
Sometimes I sit and wonder. Sometimes I sit and cry. Sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy when frustrations overtake me. Now why are all these things happening to me and not to them big puppies who sit at their desks in a conditioned breeze and collecting high salaries? My people, open your eyes. Let's not compromise. It's time that we realize we can't let the ship capsize. Anyway, we're done.
Compromise. I love that one. I love that one.
We will leave it there.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
That's the one I'm going to drop on them for next year.
Very nice. It's a pleasure meeting you, and it's a pleasure that I can have this interview with you. Maybe you can end by giving some young persons out there who wants to sing calypso some form of advice.
My advice is don't look into this thing as a money-making thing. It has never been that. Calypso is to develop the art form. And once you work to develop the art form, the art form gonna develop you, and that's where you gonna make money from. There are some entities who just see like Queen Show and Soca Monarch as being money-making thing, and that's where they spend their money. But if they spend money on calypso will make money. You know what I'm saying? But when I got into calypso, like I said before, it was just to prove myself as a calypsonian. I never knew I would have win a crown.
And now you are a king.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing about it.
Nice chatting with you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks again for your contribution.
Thank you.
Peace and love.